Hey, it's Gary, and this is a rarity. I get to do an interview. I don't do many interviews anymore for a lot of reasons, but there's some really cool stuff happening next month where I'm going to be flying to California and 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 attending the Ignition Community Conference. And in celebration of everything that always happens around there, I've got Travis Cox with me, and Travis is the Chief Technology Evangelist, following in the hallowed footsteps of one guy, Kawasaki, who was like the original evangelist out there on the West Coast. But um, but aside from all that, it's great to talk to you, Travis. Haven't seen you for a while, but we go back more years than either one of us want to admit, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Thanks for having me here, Gary.
So why don't we just talk about Ignition Community Conference? I've always enjoyed it. I just love the energy of the presentations and meeting people. And I really like the lunchtime conversations with your customers. So they're unscripted and no marketing person is hanging around to tell them what to say. And but they're always positive. Nobody ever knocks Ignition. And so the Ignition Community Conference has always been great. And as Don Pearson, my longtime contact out there, and I always like to say we like to stress community, um, and not customer conference, but community conference. We really believe in doing a community. So I'm just going to toss things over to you because I know there's a lot of exciting new things going on with ICC this year. And why don't you just tell our listeners what's happening, what to expect?
Absolutely, yeah. So this is a really exciting time. I mean, this is our 13th ICC, and for the last 12 years, we've been at the Harris Center in Folsom, California. It's been a great venue, but there was a max capacity of about 800 people that we can bring there, so it always kind of sold out really early, and we sold out every single year. Um, and this year we're really excited because we're leveling up. That's kind of the theme of the conference this year is leveling up, both in terms of what we're doing from a conference standpoint, our technology standpoint, and kind of what the community is doing as well. But we are going to the Safe Credit Union Convention Center in downtown Sacramento. So we have a lot more capacity this year. We're going to have probably double the amount of attendees that we normally have at the Harris Center. So there'll be a lot more opportunity to network with different people from different industries and there'll be a lot more exhibitors at the conference. There'll be a lot more content that's happening. So it's a lot bigger, a lot more exciting. There's in every sense of the way it's leveling up. So I can't wait for it for sure. But it'll definitely we're gonna try to make sure to keep that kind of same sense of feeling that we had at the Harris Center. Kind of everybody was really together, and that sense of community. We're driving that as well as we get to a bigger venue. Because it's really important. This is a community conference. This is not just for us. It's for our people, it's for our customers, integrators, other exhibitors. It's for everybody to come together to really share ideas, innovate, and help move this industry and push this industry forward in the right way. So I can't wait for the conference this year.
Oh, it sounds great. And there's things I always look forward to. One is to meet your partners because you have exciting partners out there, and some of them I've known for many years, like Opto 22 and and Arlen Nipper and just a whole bunch of people that are really cool. So beyond even just inductive automation, there's a lot going on, which is and it all ties together so well. But some of the cool things are some of the things you do with integrators and customers and some of the displays of actual projects, which are really exciting, and sometimes out of the industrial ordinary. And then last year I stayed an extra day and I sat in on this competition at the end, which was way cool. And I understand that you're building on top of those experiences to even add more excitement this year.
Yeah, so let's go into some of the things that we're doing at the conference here. That's really exciting. So as you're alluding to, first and foremost, one of the big parts of the conference is our Discover Gallery. So this is video showcases of all these amazing projects that are out there in the community that either end users or integrators have submitted to us. We go through a rigorous review to find the 18 projects that we showcase at ICC. Of those projects, 12 of them win Discover Gallery awards, and there's six of them that have the prestigious Firebrand Award for innovation and excellence in ignition design. So it's a really great way to see what people are doing with ignition and sort of the solutions they're building out there, how they're pulling the community together, and what the challenges they're trying to overcome. So it's a great place to see all that. With our integrators, we have a really great integrator community. Our integrator program is really strong. Of our premier integrators, we have about 100 of them, and they are amazing. In terms of their knowledge, in terms of what they can do with ignition. So we like to kind of show off their chops, and that we have this event called the Billathon that you were talking about, and the Billathon is my favorite event. Back in the day when we first started, it was myself and Kevin McCluskey who said, you know what, like ignition's easy to build on. Why don't we try like just building live on stage, unprompted, see what happens. And he's like, well, yeah, let's just do a competition. Let's let the audience see who did better. And so that kind of started this idea of this build-a-thon competition that we did for a couple of years, but then we passed it on to integrators because integrators they know ignition really well and they're using it every day and want to say like let's show off what they can do. And so actually this week on Thursday we have the live stream event. So there'll be elimination challenge. So there's 27 integrators that'll be competing in the elimination challenge. And we'll be selecting the top two out of that. So the top two that finish first will then be competing at the ICC Billathon at the conference of September. And of course, on stage, everybody can see what they're doing, and then they can vote for who did a better job. So we're really excited about that. That event is really really fun, and we like to have fun with it, And it's the ending of the conference. It's very exciting. Yeah, outside of that, we've got lots of other, content. We have two great keynotes of our main keynote. We're really going to talk about how the industry shifted and really looking at ignition as the new paradigm out in industrial automation. We're going to talk about how everything's kind of pulled together these days. Everything's converging in the right way. From a technology standpoint, from a community standpoint. So we're gonna showcase that. We're also going to go into a technical keynote and talk about our future, especially role of AI. So we'll be talking AI this year at the conference. That's pretty exciting. We've got table talks. We've got a collab where people can learn more about this. We've got a SCADA arcade. We've got so many community sessions and sessions that we're providing for Ignition. So there's so much content. Plus, we have our amazing exhibitors. That's increased this year. And along with that, there's a new collaboration we're doing with Prove It. So Prove It was a conference back in February, and where they had vendors go on there and demo their solutions and show the benefit they provide. We're bringing that level of demonstrations, showcases to ICC. So our exhibitors will be doing that as well and showing how they work with digital infrastructure and how it works with Ignition. So customers come and see actual demonstrations of from the community and how all this works together, really showcasing open standards, showcasing interoperability. So there's just so much that we're going to be able to show this year, Gary. It's pretty exciting.
You're kind of scaring me with how I'm going to use my time while I'm out there. But to talk to enough people, see enough stuff, really cool. Yeah, you talked about industry shifts, and I was just thinking about that because a lot of times in my blog, I like to use context and write about stuff. And of course, I've been around a long time, as in a long time. And I remember meeting founder Steve Heckman 22 years ago. And he's so quiet and unassuming, but he was talking about how you guys were developing what became Ignition and the technologies behind it. And but what's interesting, what I was thinking about was, inductive automation just kind of keeps going and building, and some of the competitors, which none of which we're going to name, I don't want to bash anybody, but what impresses me is, you kind of develop along with where technology is going, where use cases are going. There for a while, Internet of Things was like the big buzzword, and as a matter of fact, I was like sometimes called an influencer in the Internet of Things for a while and made some money doing that. So you kind of got that way, and you just keep moving along, and inductive just kind of keeps on trucking, and Steve never tells me how much money you're making, but he just smiles, so I don't know. So evidently things are going well. So yeah, you talked about adapting to where the market goes, where the technology goes, and you've always done a good job of doing that. And this is a real showcase to find out what's going on.
For
So.
sure.
So there are still seats open as we're recording this on Monday, August 4th, and you'll probably be hearing it at least by the 5th. And there's still opportunities because they doubled their venues. So there's amazingly still tickets available, and you can show up and you can say hi to me and have a coffee or something, and enjoy the conference. I really suggest it if you've got any interest in industrial software, or other ideas. Some of the ideas that came out of that you guys have promoted have been just like mind blowing, literally. Like, oh, look at all the use cases. So it's really cool. So I want to switch gears a little bit because one of the things you always talk about there are, ignition and diving deep, and you can go as deep as you want to into ignition during these few days. But then there's always I think always, pretty much, some kind of release. And I've been getting press releases and things about beta being released of Ignition 8.3. And I think you've got stuff you could tell us now to give us some previews of what's going on that takes Ignition to yet another level.
Yeah, so we're really excited. Ignition 8.3, the beta what came out last Monday, so a week ago, and that was a long time coming. This is a really major release for us, a big release. There's a lot of features we put into it. We've been developing on it for a couple of years and excited that we can now finally get that out to folks. But it really takes Ignition to that next level. I mean, you look at from the beginning, as you were talking about, talking to Steve, and in terms of how we started, we really believed in leveraging the best of IT, all right, bringing that into OT, kind of bringing those worlds together, being open, being transparent, being, leveraging open standards, leveraging latest and greatest technologies, and doing that in a way that provides value and is practical for customers, right? And today, how systems are being deployed, how they're being managed, it is wildly different. Look at in the digital transformation industry 4.0 realm, we can't have the siloed architectures and the kind of the old way of thinking, right? It's a new way of thinking today, and we really have to be able to get data at a broader scale and be able to contextualize that data and bring it in to be able to do more with it. And talk about AI, there's a lot happening in that realm. So Ignition 8.3 for us really completes a longstanding vision of being able to really fully bring these two worlds together, OT and IT, and to be able to allow people like remove all the barriers. People can really innovate and deploy and manage the way they want to. So 8.3, like some of the highlights of it is we have all of our configuration is source code compatible, meaning that they can put it's all in JSON files, can be put into a Git repo and can be managed just like any other systems, development systems can be managed, which is really exciting. So people can track full changes of Ignition. There's a REST API built to Ignition to be able to access status and manipulate configuration. So we can do like infrastructure as code or more automated deployments. We have Docker templates. We've got Helm charts to be able to deploy as containers in and Kubernetes clusters in a really the best with best practices and the best way to deploy large architectures with one click of a button. We've always talked about how Ignition was really easy to download and install. It takes 3 minutes to do all that on your machine. Well, now you could do the same thing. You can deploy huge architectures really quickly because of this technology. So we've added tons of new features to Ignition 8.3, like event streams. This is a new low code, no code way of being able to move data around from to different systems in a very scalable way. And so with that, we introduced Kafka. So we can take data from MQTT, go to Kafka, take data from tags and go to a database or any source and handler. We can let people move data around the way they want. We've added cool features to Perspective, like our drawing tools and our offline forms capabilities. We've added support for Siemens S7 Plus as a new driver. We have connectivity to Twilio Voice and WhatsApp. There's a new deployment mode for people to be able to do DevOps. There's a new historian that we have that's based on QuestDB, locally embedded in Ignition to make that more powerful. And I'm just scratching the surface. There's so many features that are in here, but it's really all about being able to let people deploy it wherever they want to deploy it and manage it with whatever tools they want to use. Have the features so that they can build any kind of system and leverage data they want to and build the applications they want to, and really scale that to an enterprise. And that's really the goal. So we're really, really excited about this. This is the largest release that we've had, but it really can take these systems to that next level. So of course, at the conference, we're gonna be going to more depth on these features. Now that it's out, people are playing with it. We're gonna have more how-tos and more best practices to show how to take advantage of these features to build more, robust and bigger solutions out there. So this is for us a very important time. That's what I was saying. Kind of a lot of things are converging. Getting this released out and seeing what the community is doing and how all these tools are working together. We just want to provide the best platform to kind of be that cornerstone to help customers, in their digital transformation journeys.
So when I get out there and I listen to Carl and Kevin and the rest of the troops on their technical keynotes, I better have my writing fingers like limbered up and ready to go. So and I have to really congratulate like the team, the whole team, because when I first talked to Steve Heckman, like I said, 22 years ago now, I actually, to be honest, thought maybe he was kind of full of it because he comes in and says, "Well, we're building something new." He said, "I used to be an integrator with a different software, and I'm scratching my own itch of trying to do things that I wanted to do as an integrator." And one thing, and this is a trope that I try to get rid of all the time, which is OT-IT integration. I hate that phrase because there's two different things going on, and one is organizational and people, and the other is technology. And
Right.
basically, Steve was saying from the very beginning, we want to build this from the ground up with IT-friendly technology, um, such that any integration with enterprise becomes easier. And he said that more intelligently than half a dozen vice presidents of big companies I've talked to who said, "Oh, Gary, I'm buying this company because we're object-oriented programming and they're object-oriented programming. And we'll just merge our objects together and it'll all be a happy family." And it never happened. But you guys, everything you said built on the original vision I heard, a long time ago, which is and it works. I mean, I've talked to your customers. So it's just fascinating to me to see that you've built such a good business and such a good community. And keeping that same vision, but just letting the new technologies and the new use cases blossom. I never thought I'd talk to somebody in manufacturing software and hear words like Kubernetes. It's like like what's happening here? So
Yeah, it's I'm glad you mentioned all that because it really is like you look at we're rooted in OT, right? As we grow up, Steve ran an integration business for so long, and he was building those solutions with his customers. And there's a lot of domain knowledge, a lot of expertise that's required, on that OT side to keep this equipment running, right? And to move forward. And we wanted a product that, of course, is rooted in OT there that can solve all the challenges that are needed, but as you said, IT friendly, that it's easy for IT teams to understand so that they can bring it in and manage it the right way, and understand that this is the right technology that's going to enable the business to do a lot more. And today with 8.3, it just continues to do more and more, to allow these two teams to work together. And as you said, there's a cultural side of this, a people side of this, right? And organizations now have to bring those two worlds together. They have to get the leaders on both ends to work together in tandem. It's not, IT trying to come down. It's if you build the right base, you can easily then go up. So it's an exciting time with where things are, and things are moving much faster today, right? Like I'm glad we had the beliefs we had and brought the product into the market because now with AI and all that, people want to take advantage, and the only way to do that is to have the right foundation in place. They can't do that if they don't have access to data if they're still clipboards and whiteboards. So they've got to transform both with technology and of course with the people they have.
I'll be really interesting to listen to your AI thing because I've been people have sent me academic books on large language models and all that, and refreshing my math memory from many years ago and whatever. But the best things I've seen are not like listening to some Silicon Valley CEO who's trying to generate billions of dollars in capital investment or whatever, but it's the people that take all of the different aspects of AI, which are myriad actually, and bake them in to just to make a better tool for your customers to use. And to me, that's the best application. And I've seen a few, and I expect to see when I get more hands-on and see what's going on out at ICC. I expect to see, knowing you guys, this is going to be a really cool tool to help you do things better and so on. And I'm sure I'll see that kind of stuff out there.
Yeah, there are some really exciting, I won't give it all away, but some exciting use cases for AI. And what I'm seeing is like a lot of people are afraid, right? And that AI is going to replace people and all that. And what I'm really seeing is that AI can help make people superhuman. And ultimately it can help get the job done and do a lot more than what we were doing before. And so I can't wait to be able to kind of share what we're doing and what the community is doing around AI today. It's moving fast.
It'll be exciting. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm looking forward to seeing more of that. And by the way, I forgot to mention when you started here, one of the very first interviews I ever did, because I started a podcast in 2007, and somewhere I think a few years later, back in the early days of technology, I had like a little recorder thing, and I threw it on a conference table at the original inductive automation office in Sacramento, and sat down with. I actually expected Steve Heckman, the founder, to speak, but he brought in Colby Clegg and Carl Gould, who are now respectively CEO and CTO, right?
Correct, yeah.
Sometimes I get the C's all, but yeah, but Colby and Carl, and actually they did all the talking and they explained it. And a couple of years ago, I put a link in my podcast back to that original interview that we did. So you're filling, and then later I interviewed Don Pearson, who was Chief Strategic Officer.
Yeah, Chief Strategy Officer, yeah.
Yeah. So I was trying to remember if he was just Don then or if he was the chief. Oh, yeah. But anyway, so you're filling in some big steps as my next interview or E from inductive automation. But uh, but that's all good. Hey, there's a lot to see. I invite everybody to come meet us in Sacramento at ICC. And as September
It's September 7th, 16th, 17th, 18th is that week.
Okay. Easier to get to. Like for me, I don't have to rent a car and drive to Folsom, so that makes me happy. But hey, hopefully some of you listening to this will show up, get a ticket and show up out there. There's a lot of exciting stuff to see. I'm always happy to go to that conference. I've gone to many of them. And so the invitation is out there. And anything you want to wrap up with, Travis, while we're still here? Or
No, definitely got to come to ICC for sure. This is it's a new beginning, right? Like it's a new location. Everything's getting kicked up. Everything's being leveled up. There's just so much exciting stuff that's happening with us and with the community. I can't wait to kind of share that. Um, we've had a revamp of our community, our technology ecosystem program, and it's getting bigger. It's growing. There's a lot more people that are going to be sharing what can be unlocked, right? If we all work together. It's just an exciting time right now, and ICC is a great place for people to come together and to learn from others and to share ideas, innovate, and we're all helping push this industry forward and make it the best it possibly can be. So to come to the event and let's talk. Let's have a coffee, as you said.
Exactly. Yeah, it's always a good time, always a lot of energy, a lot of really smart people. And I love this industry because there's a lot of nice people too. They're not only smart, but they're all good people. And I really enjoy this industry, which is why I still dabble in it, even though I really don't technically have a full-time job anymore. But it's all cool. Hey, Travis, I've got Travis Cox with me. He's the Chief Technology Evangelist for Inductive Automation, and we're talking about a number of things here. And come meet us in Sacramento. And if not, just check out inductiveautomation.com and check out everything there. And this is Gary saying, thanks for listening.